Hello and welcome to this presentation on digital native or digital immigrant. This is really about how technology has changed our lives and how we use it right now in school and obviously for remote learning as well. And it's the idea that our students, your sons and daughters, are born into technology, whereas we have grown up with it developing very much so. And I certainly didn't use a lot when I was very young, but as personal computers came in, I used more and more, and obviously now much more. Let's go back to 20 years or so ago, and this is a mobile phone. Yes, it's it's as big as a briefcase, much heavier, and it would really only be the most the people that really absolutely needed to make a call on the go that would have this. And usually they were embedded in cars as car phones as well. And music, yeah, we had the old vinyl and, one album per disc, possibly two on the reverse as well. And then for portable music, yeah, we had this, didn't we? Maybe a Sony Walkman with a tape. Who remembers putting their pencil in the holes and turning it to unravel some kind of messed up tape. This was one of my first computers. It's a BBC computer. They were used quite a lot in schools, but I remember wanting to word process something, so type something in, and we had to actually insert a chip into this computer. And in order to play games on it, my mum would get a magazine from Smith's, and she would type in the program. And then we might save it on tape, and this kind of code is the thing that she would type in, and you'd type run, and then it would say error at line 210. So you'd put like a semicolon in, or maybe change the spelling of something, and then you'd type run again, and it would say error at line 320, and you keep going like this until it would work, and eventually, you'd be able to play this game that was some kind of bat and ball, knocking bricks out of a wall. Simple things, but it was quite exciting. Now, if you think about it, these days, we go on the App Store, go on Google Play, and we download and play straight away. It's like instant gratification now. There's no waiting anymore. I'm saving my pocket money up to go and buy an album. Now you just like go on Spotify and stream whatever you want, isn't it? It's very, very different. And quite often in this talk, when I give it to students, I say to them, can you imagine life without the internet? Can you just imagine that? And they can't really. And in fact, they think Google is the internet, but of course Google, is now the search engine of choice. But when I started using the internet, it was Netscape Navigator and other ones, Yahoo and so on. And I said, when I was doing projects at school, where do you think I got the information from? And they say, the library and an encyclopedia. And I said, how do you think I got pictures into my projects? And I remember this little boy putting his hand up, and he said, well, the book that you borrowed from the library, miss, do you not cut the picture out and stick it into your project? So it was this idea of like cut and stick. And I said, no, I actually had to draw them, or copy them or draw them or photograph them and get them, take it to the printers and get it printed out. It's that concept of how on earth did we do things 20 odd years ago? This is the comment, a modern computer hovers between the obsolete and non-existent. Well, we all have computers in our pockets now. A mobile phone is so powerful in terms of computing. It's there. And it's certainly not 1.5 tons. Computers in the future may only have 1,000 vacuum tubes and perhaps only weigh 1.5 tons. This was the visionary in 1949, and it's quite astonishing how far we've come. So here's our CRGS student in their little blue blazer, and they have access, a bit retro there, there's a Nintendo DS, but my daughter's still playing that actually, and we've got a PC, we've got a mobile phone, and some of the apps, Instagram, Snapchat, Fortnite, WhatsApp, and so on. So how do we support them navigating this online world? Well, in school we have Office 365. We have very proficient and comprehensive filtering system on our school network. Within Office 365 we have Word, Excel, all these online tools. When you log into Office 365 for the first time at home, it will give you the option to download a version if you don't already have one. There's Microsoft Forms. We've most recently started using Microsoft Teams for interactive lessons with some of our students during lockdown, and that's been invaluable. And some of our teachers are using Microsoft OneNote. Again, it's a platform for delivering lessons. Another platform that our teachers use is Edmodo, and it works very much like Facebook. A teacher will post a lesson, whether that's just like instructions, and they can attach documents, or attach worksheets, attach exam questions. They can make videos and post the video on there, or a video that they've sourced, and students can actually hand in assignments on there as well, and there's an opportunity for the teacher to set an assignment with a deadline, and students can upload. If they've done it by hand, it's not a problem. They can take a photograph of it and upload it. So it's a platform, it does work extremely well, and a lot of our teachers, most teachers use this. And this is another logo for Edmodo. So this is what a post might look like. So this is my class, it's on Momentum. I'm going to some instructions there, and there's a video, and then it goes underneath, and there are some questions attached as well. So it does look very much like Facebook. Caboodle is a platform that some of our teachers use as well, particularly languages. And all of these platforms will have logins. And we do try and, we absolutely encourage our students to manage their logins as well as they can. So a good idea is to have a little notebook, or maybe use the notes on their phone to put Edmodo. And then rather than type the password out in full, what I do is, for example, if my password is people367, I would put P at the beginning. I'll put ... 7, and I sort of know that that's the password that I'm using for Edmodo, and I'll have like variations on that. And it's a way of recording the password it's not exactly encrypted, but it's hidden, and we encourage our students to do that. And then we come to the online services that our students and our young people tend to use themselves. So obviously we have Snapchat and Facebook and Instagram, WhatsApp. And the very, very strong advice we give to our students is, please don't write anything online that you wouldn't happily see published in a newspaper. Because even though these platforms, particularly Snapchat, these messages can disappear, it is possible for organisations to get some of them back. And they're not quite aware of that. And, they think that if they post something on Facebook or start a Facebook group, being maybe horrible to another student, that if they just leave that group or delete it, it's gone. Well, it isn't gone. It's stored on the servers, and police can get to it. So it's really, really important about that. And it's that idea of being, as well, a responsible global online citizen, isn't it? And I do say to students, let's just see what the next slide is. Yeah, Facebook. I do say to students that university admissions tutors will Google your name. They will see what is online that you've posted. And that might sway a choice. And certainly for employers, that's what happens as well. So it's really about promoting yourself online in a positive way. And YouTube's another one, isn't it, where you can write comments and so on. And it's really, really important to do that. So it's something we encourage students to do all the time. Think about, is this presenting you in a good light? Often people will comment or post things that they wouldn't normally say in face to face, would they? And these are all things that we live with and have to deal with the consequences. Our pastoral system is absolutely top notch, and Mrs. Reeves and Mr. Alcock and the heads of year are extremely good at supporting students with online issues and acting as sleuths. They will find out who has posted something that is not quite so pleasant, and they will appropriately sanction those students. So do take that on board, that we have a very, very strong pastoral system. And this is what I was just talking about, this idea of digital footprint. I write a blog, I write a number of blogs actually. I write a blog for a conservation group. I have an art blog about creativity. I have an art website. And these are all part of my digital footprints. And I have a Facebook page which I post about art. And I have Twitter that I use for education. And it's really thinking carefully about how you present yourself online and who might be reading it. And the fact that, if somebody Googles you, they can see all these things that you do put out online. And there we go. Don't post anything online that you wouldn't be happy reading in a national newspaper. If you have any concerns as a parent about something going on online, the Think You Know website is extremely good. So there's a section here for parents. So Think You Know is really good for resources. So if you want some advice on, Snapchat or Fortnite or anything like that, it's a really good place to have a look and get some tips. We also use that with our students. And the other website is the CEOP website, the Child Exploitation Online Protection Agency, and that's a really good place to go to report any online issues. So here's our student, and as I said at the beginning, there's no moving away from technology. It's here to stay, and so our vision and our ethos in school is to educate the students, keep the communication lines open, and so empower them to be that responsible online citizen and enjoy the opportunities available. I normally end there, but I also wanted to just point out that obviously during the pandemic, there's been a lot of online learning going on, and as a CRGS, we have a CRGS remote teaching and learning standard, so to speak, and we thought very carefully about how we structure remote learning. So this is this area here. We have, as I mentioned, some of the technologies available. So we've got Edmodo, OneNote, we've got screencasting software just like this, so our teachers have been making videos. We have been making Microsoft Teams video meetings as a drop-in, so a lot of the content is delivered as just like the Edmodo platform and OneNote with videos embedded in that, but then for interactive sessions, that is much more, we don't deliver our content like that, we use that as a support, like a tutorial aspect, so that students can come on and ask questions. Lots and lots of different formative assessment strategies, so things like Socrative and Grade Gorilla and Quizlet, and Edmodo enables that as well, so to check knowledge and so on, but also by looking at comments on the posts that we put up. And we also, the whole point about making a video is really to explain thought processes, encourage the students to think about their own learning behaviours and how they tackle tasks and how they tackle questions and problems, not just setting the work. So it's really about encouraging to how they think, giving modelled answers, giving exemplars so they know the standards that they're aiming at. And of course, the other aspects of online learning, which is partly why we allow and promote different platforms rather than force the teachers to go down one platform route, is to have a bit of variety. And we feel our students are capable of being able to log on to different platforms, and certainly that is a life skill, isn't there? I must have about 50 different things that I have to log into. So it's a really good way of encouraging them to manage different platforms. And our teachers are very, very good at producing engaging lessons and implanting sort of variety and just different ways of learning, and that is something we've developed in that time of the pandemic, and no doubt we are continuing to do that and use this standard for CRGS, remote teaching and learning. So I hope that's been useful to you, and I look forward to communicating with you in the future. Okay, thanks very much.